I'm Kevin Cirilli. It's time for your weekly rewind.
Mr. President, for months when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press.
They expressed concerns about your mental acuity. They say that you are too old. Mr. President, in December, you told me that you believe there are many other Democrats who could defeat Donald Trump. So why does it have to be you now? What is your answer to that question?
Because I'm the most qualified person in this country to be president of the United States and finish the job I started.
That was CNN's MJ Lee pressing President Biden last night at the White House. President Biden is forcefully pushing back against the special counsel report that characterized his mental clarity as an elderly man with bad memory. The damning 388-page report cleared him of wrongdoing for his handling of classified documents, but it left unanswered questions about the president's mental acuity.
In watching the Supreme Court today, I thought it was a very beautiful process. I hope that democracy in this country will continue.
The Supreme Court signaled reluctance to keep former President Donald Trump off the 2024 ballot. The highest court has taken up the Colorado case after it became the first state to attempt removing Trump from its primary over the Capitol riot. State officials cited the insurrection clause in the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. But this is not a case about whether January 6th was Trump's fault. This is a case about the process of states' ballots and who can be on the ballot.
If you try to move a bill that solves the border crisis during this presidential year, I will do whatever I can to destroy you. Because I do not want you to solve this during the presidential election. By the way, they have been faithful to their promise.
The bipartisan Senate border bill collapsed, and House Republicans failed to find enough votes in their own caucus to impeach Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The legislative congressional battles illustrate how both congressional chambers are not only sharply divided, but so closely divided. The failure of the bipartisan border bill, which Republicans, including former President Donald Trump, assailed as not going far enough to protect the border. It all but now guarantees that any significant reform to the U.S.-Mexico border will have to wait until after the election, despite President Biden urging lawmakers to do something. Hamas has sent a generally positive response to a draft proposal over the release of hostages and even to halt fighting. But Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu shut it down. 5 U.S. Marines were found dead in the mountains near San Diego. According to the authorities, the Marines were killed in a helicopter crash during a routine training exercise. President Biden said in a statement that he and the First Lady are heartbroken by the loss of life. Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell says interest rates will likely remain unchanged in March.
You could, or you could just halt the progress. I think more likely, if you move too soon, you'd see inflation settling out somewhere well above our 2% target.
In an interview with CBS News 60 Minutes that aired Sunday, Powell signaled no additional cuts will come next month and explained why the Fed is wary of slashing rates too soon. Democratic presidential hopeful Maryann Williamson suspended her 2024 campaign.
I read a quote the other day that said that sunsets are proof that endings can be beautiful too.
The long-shot candidate placed a distant third place in Tuesday's Nevada primary, getting just 3% of the vote. She launched her bid last February, becoming the first challenger to Biden in the Democratic primary. She also sought the presidency in 2020. India detained a pigeon for 8 months on suspicion that the pigeon was spying on behalf of China. According to PETA India, the bird was released from captivity this week after Indian officials apprehended the suspected flying foe when they found illegible writing on the pigeon's wings. But it turned out it was no avian agent, just a Taiwanese racking pigeon.